The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, in today's digital age, children are spending more time online than ever before. But with that comes growing concerns about their safety. From privacy issues to online predators, the internet can be a dangerous space for young users. Our next guest, a former lawyer turned cybersecurity entrepreneur, has set out to address this very issue. After experiencing the painful effects of childhood abuse, he became determined to ensure that kids and teens around the world could safely navigate the digital landscape. With his company, KID, Donovan has developed tech that helps developers create safer online environments by simplifying their compliance with global laws on child protection. Now, to find out more, joining me today to share more is Kieran Donovan, who is the co-founder and CEO of KID. Kieran, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, hey, it's wonderful to be here.
All right, Kieran, you've had a diverse career, starting as a lawyer and transitioning to a cybersecurity entrepreneur. I mean, what inspired you to move from law to technology and cybersecurity, specifically focusing on child safety online?
I think it's one of those classic examples where I had seen the issue firsthand. I'd been advising developers on how to manage this risk from a compliance perspective for over a decade. I'd seen the regulatory environment change. I'd had kids of my own. And so it was very much front and center. And you're sitting at the middle of all that and thinking, well, why hasn't anyone built an infrastructure and underlying technology to power everything when it comes to that?
I see. I mean, could you share more about your childhood experiences as well that led you to become so passionate about child protection and online safety?
Yeah, I mean, I've been quite open that I had my own experience where there had been a scenario where I'd been taken advantage of. And so I eventually found the courage to come forward and talk about that. But really that occupied so much of my mind for such a long time that I felt compelled to really do something about it and take the knowledge that I had learned in legal practice and the challenge that I saw in front of us, which was how do we actually solve the challenge of kids building more of their identity and their community online than ever before. And oftentimes they're the ones who know how to use the technology better than us. And sitting at that inflection point of all of it, it just felt like if anyone was going to do it, I felt compelled to step up.
I see. Well, as a lawyer, you advised major tech companies on privacy and online safety as well. How did that experience kind of influence your decision to launch KID and create solutions for child protection online?
Yeah, so when any company looks at building an online platform, they will look at typically even simple questions like, what is the age of a child?
Right.
You know, who is my audience? And often, particularly in the gaming space, you don't know when you're building a game necessarily what audience it's really going to resonate with, what demographic it's going to resonate with. So often I found clients who had never intended to build for a younger audience who now had a huge portion of the audience who were younger. And so seeing that was something that developers really wanted to solve and build a better experience for a youth audience, but there were no technologies that enabled them to do it. Everybody had to build it from scratch, from parent tools and chat controls to content moderation. Everything needed to be built.
Right. For some, context here, I mean, you mentioned that the possibility of tech companies excluding children from platforms due to concerns about compliance and penalties. But what do you think are the most critical challenges that tech companies face when it comes to child safety online? I mean, what are the risks here for children to be on these online platforms?
Yes, the best example I can give you, and everybody sees this firsthand now, is more than 70% of kids under the age of 13 who are going online and setting up social media accounts are doing so with their parents' help. And so it's not because their parents aren't comfortable with them going on and chatting with their friends and even posting certain content. There is no experience for an under 13-year-old on these platforms and increasingly not an experience for even for teenagers. And so the biggest risk is that you have a child who goes online, they lie about their age, often with the assistance of a parent, and now that kid disappears because the system doesn't know that they're a kid.
I see. Well, what is the singular goal of KID then, and how do you envision the company transforming the online experiences of children globally?
So we want to empower developers to build the best, safest experiences for kids online. We believe that it's an area where everybody up until now has had to go back to the drawing board and build an experience from scratch. And we see this with social media. We see it with video games. We see it now in the AI space as well. And everybody has to go back to first principles. And wouldn't it be great if you could rely on a single system that had a common framework? So as a kid, you know that you can jump in and out of different experiences and have a consistent experience. A parent can manage controls with the same set of controls. Even the controls are defined differently depending upon what platform they're using. And from a platform or a developer perspective, what you want are developer tools that actually enable you to include that audience, because you want that audience to be there and to build for them.
I see. So how does KID's technology simplify compliance for developers in a way that, balances user experience with child safety?
We're a nerdy bunch. We're a lot of lawyers and a lot of engineers who spend a lot of time thinking about it. And so at its simplest, what we want to be able to deliver is if someone signs up to any online platform or any online game that's integrated with our technology, it will adapt to the compliance requirements based on the age and the location that you're in. So it gives you that personal experience and adapts to all of the local regulation that kicks in. And that's really the challenge. That's why it's so hard to build for youth.
I see. I mean, you've highlighted the use of AI in your platform as well, particularly in facial age estimation for gaming. How do you ensure that this AI technology kind of protects children's privacy as well while accurately verifying age?
Yeah, interestingly, we didn't set out to build that technology as part of the stack. The reason this came about was because trying to verify and validate age at scale is really expensive, really hard, and requires you to send personal information off your device, which to us that didn't feel like the right answer. And so where we've landed is on-device facial age estimation. And so the data doesn't leave the device. It's all sat there. And we solved two challenges inadvertently. One was obviously the privacy component, so everything stays there on the device. But the second one was cost, because you weren't sending stuff back and forth to a server. So actually what was good for privacy and safety turned out to be good for business.
I see. In your work, you've also encountered children outsmarting ID verification systems, such as using their grandparents' accounts. How has KID tackled these issues, to make the onboarding process safer and more engaging for children?
So you have to go back to why does a child lie? The reason a child lies, in that example I gave of kids setting up social media accounts, they're doing so because their friends are online. Yeah. They're doing so because that's where they want to be. They want to build their identity online. And parents are often comfortable doing so. They just don't have a choice. And so the very first thing we do is we give them that choice. So if you say that you're 9 or you're 11 or you're 14, you're going to be allowed in. You're going to get an experience that age adapts to you, and you're not going to be blocked. And that's really the philosophical change that we want to make for the internet is you see our logo and you know, okay, this is a space that's going to respect and empower me.
I see. So with the growing role of AI in online environments, what steps is KID, taking to stay ahead of potential new threats or challenges that might arise in the future?
So we'll be going live in our first AI for Kids product next month, which has been really exciting because there are so many different layers to AI. One is you need to ensure that the data that's being ingested to the model is being privacy preserving. You need to ensure that the content that's being fed back to a user is appropriate. And then there's a layer of parental allowance and engagement that you need to ensure. And so we've built a suite of technologies that we believe will be the building blocks for the best engagement that kids will have with AI, because they will be, and they are today engaging with plenty of generative AI and other technologies.
I see. Now, what feedback then have you received from parents, educators, or children themselves about your platform's effectiveness in creating a safer digital environment?
We involve kids in helping us build the technology. And so we do a huge amount of work in schools and a huge amount of user feedback where we want to understand how are they using the technology, but also what are their expectations, what would they love. And so we've actually integrated some of those into what we've rolled out. An example would be where you want to reward good behavior, you want to reward honesty. And so if there's in-game rewards, opportunities to incentivize people in the right way, then you do it. And kids want that. And so that's something that we've built in. When you do that, you all of a sudden unlock this engagement that the parent didn't realize they could have in their kids' online activities.
I see. Well, looking ahead, what do you think the future of child online safety will look like? And I mean, what role do you see KID playing in shaping that future?
So one of the exciting things is we're working with a lot of developers today who are building for that audience. And I think that's a real fundamental shift. Historically, we've seen that it's usually an afterthought where you see parental controls or things getting built after the fact. We are working with developers today who are putting that front and center, and it's a core part of their value proposition because they want to build for that audience in the right way. So that's what it really excites me going forward. And for us, we hope to be the platform that powers all of that for all of these new experiences online.
I see. Kieran, before we let you go, what do you think the future of KID is? I mean, what are your future expansion plans? Do you hope for every gaming platform to have KID functions? And do you have, any plans to integrate KID into social media platforms as well?
So at the heart of it, I'm a dad. And so I have kids, and I really am building what I want to empower them online and know that they're going to be safe and they can build their identity safely. So for me, it's really letting that next generation drive where the KID technology and where our heart should go. And for me, at its heart, it really is about wherever they are, wherever a kid exists on the internet is a place that we will be there to empower them.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Kieran, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Kieran Donovan, who's a co-founder and CEO of KID. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.